All right, guys. Our next bit of movie news today, you've probably already seen it. This came out, 2 days ago, I believe. It was the trailer for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. This just kind of dropped out of nowhere. I don't think anyone was really expecting to see a trailer for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. We've known that they've been in production for a while. We know that, like, the casting and this and that and the other. I forgot. I straight up forgot that Aquafina was in this movie. I just totally forgot. I love her comedic prowess. I love the tone that she is able to infuse into this movie. Full disclosure, I'm not a big kung fu movie kind of person. Um, of course, I love everything that Marvel does for the most part. I love everything that Marvel does. They have a nice polished sheen to it. There's a certain quality level that we've come to expect from Marvel Studios. Um, and going into this trailer, I kind of felt like I was going into this trailer the same way that I was going into the Doctor Strange trailer of like, here's an obscure property that not a lot of people are familiar with. I'm not. I've never read the Shang-Chi comics. I'm not that familiar with the character. I don't really know what he's about. All I'm getting is, what Marvel is feeding me here. There are a lot of comics that I read. I'm big on. I think it was Nerd Zone. Nerd Zone. If you're watching, I think you mentioned AVX a few weeks ago, and how that was one of your first comics that you've ever received or obtained. It was like the first comic that you ever got, and kind of how that shaped and informed the decisions that you make in terms of reading comics, moving forward, and whatever, and expanding outside. I was always a big X-Men. X-Men was always my number one. Punisher. I was super hardcore into Punisher for a long time. Fantastic Four was my very first comic book ever. So like a lot of the classic type stuff, but I never read Shang-Chi. So I'm not that familiar with the character. So I'm excited going into this movie knowing very little, if anything, about this character. I mean, I probably will end up doing my research to find out a little bit more about the character. But you guys, I've got to say, this trailer was fun. This trailer was so much fun. I didn't know what to expect from it. I like the comedy, I like the humor, I like the tone. Of course, I love seeing all the 10 rings Easter eggs. And in fact, Kim, my fiance Kim, she's not that well versed in comic book lore, in history. She never read the comics growing up. She never really watched a lot of TV shows. She's seen some of the movies, and she's especially seen all the Marvel movies now. Thanks to this, that's a whole story of how we got together. She was watching all the Marvel movies, and she's like, "Hey, Mike, I know you like these Marvel movies. Tell me more." Anyway, that was the whole thing. But yeah, where's my train of thought going? Um, I can't remember what I was talking about. Anyway, but yeah, I'm looking forward to going into this thing. The action looks spectacular. It looks really like the one moment where he's on the bus and he like hits. He punches the two guys on either side of him with his hands, and then he jumps up in the air and then kicks them both in the face simultaneously. Like that was woo, and then he just kind of like. Oh, it was a beautiful moment. It was fantastic. Aquafina's like, "Who are you?" Um, I like this. So, Legend of the Ten Rings. That's where I was going with this. Um, I love how the groundwork for this movie was laid all the way in Iron Man 1. Whether they had planned to do a Shang-Chi movie 13 years after the release of Iron Man, of the first Iron Man movie, whether they had planned that or not, here we are. An intentional / unintentional happy tie-in going all the way back to the beginning of the MCU, right? So I showed Kim the trailer to Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and she's like, "Oh, that's kind of a fun trailer." And I said, "Yes, but look at this." And then we went back and watched clips from Iron Man 1. We went back and watched clips from Iron Man 3, and then we went back and watched some clips from the Marvel one-shot, All Hail the King, with Sir Ben Kingsley kind of reprising his role as Trevor Slattery, the actor who was hired to portray the Mandarin in the story of Iron Man 3, right? So that was kind of fun. And then we went back and rewatched the Shang-Chi trailer, and Kim was like, whoa, like she didn't get the impact of the 10 rings. And I think a lot of us don't quite get the impact of really what are the 10 rings, except that it's, at least in Iron Man 1 was a terrorist organization, right? It could have been a bastardization of the 10 rings, of what the 10 rings really are and what they stand for. Who knows? I don't know. We'll just have to wait for the movie to come out. As for the trailer itself, not a perfect trailer, not a great trailer, but it does its job in that it tells us a little bit about the movie. It tells us the tone, it shows us the tone of the film, and it kind of gives us a little bit of an expectation of to what the story might be. It focuses on you have his father, the Mandarin, doing, well, presumably he's the Mandarin. Somebody correct me on that if I'm wrong. Jump down in the comment section below and let me know if I'm wrong in that assessment. But his father, the Mandarin, giving this whole voiceover of like, look, I trained you ever since you were a little child, in case outside forces or evil comes into our world, that you will be able to physically defend yourself. I trained you to be the perfect warrior, or a gladiator, or whatever you want to call it, right? And then he's like, and then I gave you a choice. I gave you 10 years to go off and live your life, to be the person that you feel that you were meant to be. And now it's 10 years later, and what do you have to show for it? Nothing. So it's time for you to come back into the 10 rings and to take your place by my side and reign with whatever. At least that's what I got from the trailer, right? That's kind of the story. And of course, that whole 10 years, it looks like he developed this friendship with Awkwafina. Of course, he's not going to tell Awkwafina about his past and who he really is and whatever. And now the 10 rings have come to bring Shang-Chi back into the 10 ring fold or whatever, right? It looks fun. I like the music. It definitely gave me some Black Panther vibes in terms of like tone and style a little bit. I don't know. I'm really looking forward to this movie, you guys, but I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts? What did you get from this trailer? Does it look awesome? Are you like, meh? Or are you just that much more interested in what this movie is and what it has to offer? Jump on down in the comments section below and let me know your thoughts. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. If you like this video, click like. If you really like this video, click subscribe. And if you really, really like this video, click share. Because that is exactly what this Mickey Mouse Walt Disney World snow globe would want you to do. When you wish upon a star.